sympathy. I don't mind, cause you mean that much to me. Ain't too proud to be, sweet darling, please don't leave me. Don't you go, ain't too proud to plead, baby, baby, please don't leave me. Don't you go.
Hello and welcome to my latest video. This week I want to talk about the Big Bang Theory. Now the Big Bang, of course, originally wasn't known as the Big Bang. That's how we know it today. It was known as the Big Bang because it was a big bang. It wasn't a big bang, it was bloody enormous. I mean, some of the headlines around the world said massive pop, unbelievable squeak. But they were the small tabloids. I mean, most of the big newspapers, the Times and the New York Times, isn't it? And the Herald and everything like that said the Big Bang is here. And it was a big occasion, really. Far bigger than the millennium celebrations or Christmas or Easter or anything like that. It was massive because it was the start of everything. Everyone was looking forward to it, because it was the start of the universe. I mean, here we are celebrating the millennium, but the start of everything, by God, I tell you, that was one big party, really. I mean, the bands were really getting into it that night. You wait, when they were singing Old Lang Syne and counting down to midnight, the start of everything, people may have had massive earmuffs on, but by heck, they were dancing, and they were like, Old Lang Syne was pumping out like you just wouldn't believe. And yeah, it was the start of everything. And the Big Bang at the time was not known as an explosion. I mean, that's how we kind of know it today. But back then they knew it as a rapid expansion of space-time. Yeah, because that's what it really was, isn't it? It wasn't an explosion at all. Some people thought it was. The government thought it was. The government actually thought it was a terrorist bomb going off, like a terrorist kind of conspiracy. But in actual fact, it was a rapid expansion of space-time. So you're walking down the road with your space watch on, right, checking the time, and, yeah, it's time to go home, started on your way home, and if you were caught out, right, you thought that it was time to go home, and all of a sudden, it was 50 billion years later and you were late for your dentist appointment. You got home and your children were like 9,500 years older than you. I don't know, like it was a massive rapid expansion of space-time, and the dog that you bought when you were like 2 years old was then like this high, and he was like an old dog, I suppose. And you went home, and your children, when you went to work, they were like toddlers, 3-year-old, 4-year-old, and a 5-year-old. You went home, and they were like 90, 85, and 63, older than you. You didn't know what was going on. Boy, what a mad time. But everyone loved it. Like I say, it was a great celebration. The parties were going off like you wouldn't believe. And after that, at some point, there became the dark period, of course. The dark age, as it's known in the universe. When there just wasn't any light, obviously. And it was a pretty depressing time, I must say. I mean, there was a lot of depression around. A lot of people sitting inside under fluorescent lamps. And, like I say, most people were pretty damn morose, because there wasn't so much to be excited about, was it? But the only people who seemed to be pretty damn happy with the whole thing were people who manufactured and sold light bulbs. And they made a killing. I tell you, the sale of light bulbs back then in the Dark Ages just skyrocketed. And there were some fat cats in the light bulb industry back in the dark period of the universe. And that's when the universe went from the size of a proton, right, which is so small you can't even see, so everyone was tiny, to the size of a melon, right, which doesn't sound very big at all. But all of a sudden, everyone was like this. I mean, everyone, all these, people thought, oh my God, how did I put on so much weight? I don't even drink beer and I've got a massive guts like a pot belly. I don't even go to McDonald's and I've got this guts on me like this. And it was just, all it was this massive, rapid expansion of space-time. Woofer! I went like that. Woof! So there you go. That was the beginning of the universe. And we can see the original light from the beginning of the universe, interestingly enough. And that particular light is in the microwave part of the spectrum. Now, the microwave part of the spectrum is quite interesting, isn't it? Because I thought microwaves were just appliances that you have in the kitchen to heat up a cup of soup or something. But, in actual fact, they've got something to do with the beginning of the universe. And I think that's quite interesting as well. Kind of weird, isn't it, that you should be able to see microwaves floating around back at the beginning of time? Oh, and yeah, the Dark Ages, that was a pretty damn morose time. I mean, you go to the cinema in the Dark Ages, for example, and you arrived at the cinema with a torch yourself, right? I mean, the ushers didn't even need torches because everyone, all day long, were walking around with torches. It was like living permanently in a wardrobe, right? It was, seriously, it was big time, really depressing. And the suicide rate went through the roof. And, yeah. But, there you go. Anyway, that's really all I've got to talk about the beginning of the universe. I think it's quite interesting. And, thanks for watching my latest video. Rate it if you will, that'll be good. And, even better, subscribe. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you next week. Bye. Sad